Alexandra Levine welcomes you to the Alexandra Levine Live Podcast. Today, we've got a packed show, from breaking news to informative topics that will keep you well informed. So, please click the subscribe button to get notified of her upcoming episodes. If you like what Alexandra talks about, then please share the Alexandra Levine Live to others. Alexandra also looks forward to your comments during this episode. Tonight's Alexandra Levine Live Podcast starts now.
Well, hello, everyone. Hello, this is Alexandra Levine live with the America's Pulse Network. You are all in tonight with me, Alexandra Levine. We have some major breaking news coming out of the House of Representatives. Let's put up the first slide. So this is from the Patriot Oasis. So this is kind of important. U.S. House passes bill banning members of Congress from trading individual stocks, 232 to 198. That means 198 Democrats voted nay, and they attached nationwide voter ID to it. So this was part of the budget, and this was really the only way that Mike Johnson could get a little bit of the Save America Act passed through this balanced budget bill, and also saying that Congress people, they cannot trade individual stocks anymore. But 100, look at that, 198 Democrats voted, quote, nay. These are massively popular issues, 80 to 20 plus with the public. Senate GOP, get HR 7008 to Trump's desk ASAP. Pure common sense and no more excuses. And again, the president has weighed out his patience in regards to passing the Save America Act, which, as you know, requires photo ID for all states, including the liberal ones. And also it ensures our elections on the federal level. We're hoping that this, once it gets passed into law on the federal level, it'll trickle down to the state level. And that's why it's really important who your governor is. And there's a lot of gubernatorial races coming up. The Democrats are scared crapless. That's why they have been delaying, trying to get this passed. And also the rhinos are crapping in their pants too, because people like John Thune, they get paid by special interests and lobbyists and Democrats and people and China, which, as we know, interfered with our elections in 2020 and so forth. This hones in on making sure that we know who is legal and who is not a legal citizen of this country. You have to be legal to vote in our elections. You have to be the age of 18 or over to vote legally in our elections. You can't vote at the age of 15 or 16 or 17 or 17 and a half. You got to vote at the age of 18. It's disgusting that this has become such an issue. It's disgusting that the president had to do it this way with the House of Representatives. But I thank Speaker Johnson for this. I thank the people in the House of Representatives for pushing this forward. Now it's up to John Thune and the senators and the Senate majority Republicans to pass the Save America Act, put on President Trump's desk, and let's get going. Let's go back to free and fair elections for we, the people. If people don't believe in this, if you are an elected official and you don't believe in the Save America Act, then you are not an American. And you want to cheat, and you believe in cheating in the elections, and you hate Donald Trump so much, you have Trump derangement syndrome, that you're afraid to actually pass something that will procure our elections. The whole thing is disgusting. It's asinine. And I'm sick and tired of it being delayed and delayed. President Trump wants this passed before before Congress goes into August recess. That's why he's pushing on this so hard. That's why he's been campaigning on it hard. He's been going state to state campaigning it. And he's asking the people, do you believe in photo ID? Don't you want free and fair elections? Majority of Americans want this, just like the majority of Americans believe in taking care of legal citizens first before illegals. That's why it's very important that we work with ICE. That's why it's very important that we continue to not break the law in this country when illegals come here. I've been hearing people, my grandfather is an illegal. He's been here for 30 years. He forgot to, get his legal citizenship, or he was on a visa and it expired, and, he just didn't have a chance to renew it, but he has a job and he hasn't committed a crime. He has committed a crime. When you come here illegally, you are committing a crime. I don't care if you've been here for 25 years. I don't care. You need to come here the right way. You need to go through the system. It doesn't take that long to get your legal citizenship, by the way. If you're an Israeli and you come here to America, it takes only 7 years. If you're Hispanic, it takes about 5 to 6 years. Once you get your butt over here, start filling out the forms and filling out the paperwork. Do not come in here illegally, and do not think that you can just bypass the law and everything is just a hunky-dory for you. Those days are over. The Democrat-controlled House is gone, and the executive branch of the Democrat Party is not in power right now. You will abide by the law, and you will come here legally and do it the right way. And if not, deport their ass or arrest the hell out of them. And that's what Thomas Homan is doing, and Mark Wayne Mullen and Secretary of State Marco Rubio. They're really honing in on the laws here and saying, I don't care how long you've freaking been here. You get the hell out of here. You need to go back to your country. You overstayed your visa. You decided not to renew your visa. You lived off the system. And you know what? A lot of those people end up becoming criminals and killing innocent Americans, like Kayla Hamilton and Rachel Moore and many others, and Ghislaine and Kate Steinle. Those are innocent people, innocent women that were murdered and raped by illegal criminals and illegal felons that kept coming back and forth through the border, back and forth, back and forth. No, I'm sorry. You don't get a free pass. You don't get a free pass. And you don't get a free pass to vote either. Illegals are not allowed to vote in our elections. I've had enough of it. I'm tired of it. I've been doing elections for far too long. We just finished a primary in Maryland, and there was so many shenanigans with that primary. And there was a lot of people that voted illegally. There's a lot of people that shouldn't have voted at all, and they did anyway. And yes, it was reported, it was recorded, and blah, blah, blah. But there was no repercussions. The election judges didn't lose their jobs. Nobody went to jail. It's a problem. So we really need to get to the bottom of this. That's why it's so important that we pass the Save America Act. Now we go into segment 1. So segment 1 is it's time to shine, meaning it is time for America to shine and rise and be uplifted. And it's time to celebrate America's beauty. We are celebrating 450 years of America. Look at my nails. This is the 3rd week in a row that I've had the American flag on my middle finger, by the way. So if you don't like it, read between the lines. But this is how I love America. This is how I celebrate America. I have never been so patriotic in my life. Like, I've been patriotic, but because this is 250 years, I'm like more patriotic than ever. I got red lipstick. I'm wearing blue eyeshadow. Like, I'm really celebrating 250 years of America. And I had the opportunity to go to DC and celebrate it in DC and go to the Great American Fair, which was amazing. If you didn't have a chance to go, I feel bad for you, but it was a beautiful, beautiful fair and a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful time. Let's put up the first slide. So at Real Donald Trump, my man, President Trump, again, talks about the Save America Act. Thank you to all of the House Republicans. This follows into the break. This is from the breaking news. Thanks to all the House Republicans for supporting the first step towards getting as much of the Save America Act as possible in the budget bill, and to our great speaker, Mike Johnson. I'm asking all House Republicans to vote yes on this very important budget resolution. I'm watching the vote very closely and hope Republicans can unify to secure elections against all forms of foreign country interference and illegal alien voting. President Donald J. Trump. And as I stated, they already voted, 198 Democrats voted no for this. Think about those Democrats. Do you live in their districts? Do you? Are you a constituent of their district? You need to ask yourself, do you really want this Democrat representative to represent you in 2 years, in 4 years, in 10 more years? Because Congress isn't term limited, which they need to be. I mean, I would question my congressman if he voted no for this. I would say to my congressman, you don't believe in free and fair elections? You believe in cheating? You believe in lying? You believe in giving up our elections to illegals, like illegal Somalians, illegal Ugandans, and so forth? Because all these freaking foreigners that are trying to run in Congress, it's really scary. You have a freaking terror, like pro-Hamas guy running for the Senate in Michigan. It's really scary. And then you got some other pro-Hamas person running for governor of Minnesota. You got another freaking Hamas person running for Congress in, or not Congress, I'm sorry, he's not pro-Hamas, but you have this like freaking sexual assailant guy who committed multiple crimes, who's running for senator of Maine against Susan Collins, which is like a joke. And then you have this transgender crazy, running out in, he was trying to run for senator of Maine, crazy. But then you have all these like pro-Hamas people that are running in Minnesota and Michigan, and even trying to run in very Republican states. You got people that believe in Sharia law, wearing hijabs, people that don't tell you what their real last name, and they're running in very MAGA America First districts that Democrats are trying to flip. I mean, this is real life stuff. Real life stuff. We have someone coming on who's running for Congress in Virginia. I mean, ever since Spamberger won, oh my God, the state has changed so much, and not in a good way. A lot of illegals in Virginia, a lot of illegals. And in my opinion, Glenn Youngkin didn't do enough to really stop the illegal immigration in Virginia. And he didn't do enough to stop any liberal or hardcore Democrat policies from entering his chamber. That's why the chamber flipped Democrat when he was like governor the first 2 years, or after the first 2 years, excuse me. And Winsome Sears, she was a lieutenant governor. What the hell did she do to procure her chambers? The only person I really liked was the former Attorney General, Jason Maheras, because he actually did a lot for the Jewish people. He combated anti-Semitism. He recognized what the word anti-Semitism is under the IHRA, and recognized was promoting and mandating with me full Holocaust education in schools. So he was great. But because he had, I hate to say Glenn and, or not Glenn, but Winsome Sears, I hate to say it, running for governor, I think that really screwed him. I really do. We'll talk about it. We'll get into that later. But it's a shame. It's a shame because you have real people who actually do care about their constituents, and they're not getting elected, or they're getting thrown under the bus, or you get these Democrats that are crazies, and the DNC pushes them and funds them with a tremendous amount of money. Let me tell you something. You don't have to raise millions and millions and millions of dollars to run for these seats. That's what they want to tell you. That's the narrative. Well, that person, they don't have $300,000 in their campaign finance, so forget them. No, that's not true. Even for like a county council race, county executive, the guy in Maryland who's the Democrat nominee has like $2 million in his campaign funds. You don't need $2 million, or even $1 million to run for county executive in Baltimore County. You don't need $1 million to run for county council in Baltimore County either. But that's what they're going to tell you. They're going to say, if you don't have the money, nope, you're not going to win. Let me tell you something. President Trump was outspent. He was totally like the Kamala Harris's team. I think they raised like a lot of freaking money. I think like close to $1 billion. It was pretty high up there. And, Donald Trump, I know he raised millions, but he didn't have to put multi-millions into a presidential race. That's just stupid. It's a waste of money. And mind you, President Trump put a lot of his own money into his campaign. I always say people that are billionaires or multimillionaires, they should put some of their own money in if they can. I know people that make $150,000 a year and they still put at least $30,000 of their own money into their campaign. You have to put some of your own money into your campaign. You can't rely on We the People or PACs or so forth, because a lot of these PACs, they have favorites. And We the People, we're not going to give you thousands of dollars. I would say the average voter gives someone like maybe $150. Yeah, it adds up, but you need a lot of that $150 to make millions. So if you are not if you're not putting your own money into your campaign, it's a problem, especially on the federal level. But that is why it's so important. It's so important that we have the right people in office. Because you see, we don't, and Save America Act is still not passed. Let's go to the next slide. So this actually talks about the state of New Jersey. There's a big debacle going there with what they found, or what President Trump found with what the DOJ and DHS, what they exposed with the state of New Jersey. So 35,152 is the new number just released by Homeland Security of non-citizens registered to vote in New Jersey. These are counts. Many times this amounts. Republicans get smart and straighten out our crooked elections, pass the Save America Act. Again, we can't emphasize this enough. The new governor, Mickey Sherrill, she goes on, the telly and the freaking microphone. She talks about, all these bad things that happened in the elections in New Jersey. What the hell? You're the new governor. You probably knew all this fraud was happening. You probably knew all these laws were being, all these laws were being broken, and you still allowed the elections to happen. You didn't care. You didn't call for an investigation because you won. Now you're doing it because you're the governor now, and you are trying to save your own ass here. No, I'm so sorry, Mickey Sherrill. You were a congresswoman before this. You knew about the elections. You knew that they weren't free and fair. And you're probably part of the problem. And you're probably one of the people that pushed for these non-citizens to vote for you. I wouldn't be surprised. Probably worked with Barack Hussein Obama and George Soros to get your button in there. Because let me tell you something, nobody in their right mind thought that you were going to win the governorship. We all thought it was going to be Jack Schifferelli. We all did, especially this time around. No one in their right mind even thought that you would make it. And you worked with your buddy, Patrick Murphy, who also knows a thing or two about mail-in ballot dumping, like he did when he ran against Jack Schifferelli the first time. And all of a sudden, dozens of mail-in ballots came in for Bergen County in Patrick Murphy's favor. Now, Bergen County is more of a liberal county, but I saw Jack Schifferelli beating Patrick Murphy in Bergen County at like 1 o'clock in the morning on election night, the day after election. And then all of a sudden at 3 o'clock in the morning, all these dumps of mail-in ballots came in from Patrick Murphy in Bergen County, and it flipped. It flipped to Patrick Murphy. New Jersey does not have free and fair elections. We have 2 people on our program that are running for office in New Jersey, Justin Murphy and Damon Galdo. And then, of course, our producer, Damon Charity, who's from New Jersey, who lives there. They know the elections are fraudulent. And we have Constance Zitzel and Jack Bryan. They ran for office recently. They know that there's fraud in our elections, especially in New Jersey and liberal states. What has Cory Booker done to fix this? What's he going to do to fix this? Oh, wait, he's one of those 198 Democrats, or not 108. What the hell am I talking about? He's one of those senators that's not going to vote for the Save America Act because he doesn't care in free and fair elections. I hope it hurts him. I hope when he votes no, he doesn't get reelected. Because Justin is a phenomenal guy, and he really deserves to be in there, and he knows the role like no other. And he's been in politics and doing politics since the 1980s. He's a Ronald Reagan Republican. He's a common sense conservative. Again, I plead to the American people. You have the power to vote. You must vote in drones, and you must make it too big to rig. If you live in a hardcore Republican area like Tim Fazenmaker does, Republicans, you must come out for him. There has to be high Republican turnout in high Republican areas. Even if you live in a liberal state. Some people are like, oh, it's Maryland, it's all liberal. No, there are conservative areas in Maryland. You just have to look and do your research and your education, or watch our podcast. That's what we're here for, to educate you. But there are ways for these seats to flip. But it's you, the people, the voter, that have to open up their eyes and shut off the noise and stop being followers and listening to other people. Be a leader and take your own initiative. And don't just vote party line. If you're a Democrat, there's some great Republicans out there that you should vote for. My Jexit organization, we work to have Jewish Democrats #leave the Democrat Party and vote Republican. A lot of them voted for Trump in 2024. A lot of them voted for Ron DeSantis in 2018 and in his reelection in 2022. And we have a lot of Jewish Democrats that are going to vote for Byron Donalds in the general, because he is going to win the primary. And he'll be the next governor of Florida. But I implore people of different ethnicities, people of different races, religions, and creeds. I implore them to not vote party line, to vote principle over party. Shout out to my friend Rob Carson. Rob Carson's on Newsmax. Love him. He just got oh my God, he's working out of a beautiful studio. He's doing great. We love him. We thank him for his support, and we thank him for what he does, because he has a great voice and a great passion, and he loves Trump just as much as I do. But yeah, I mean, these are things that are really important, guys. Let's go to the second slide. So this is, again, interesting. So Bridget Fertag, She wrote, no, this is in the state of Nevada. Nevada voter fraud exposed. In a Senate hearing, Trump campaign attorney Jesse Benali, or Benal, excuse me, I mispronounced his name, and I've met him before actually, presented evidence of widespread voter fraud in the state of Nevada. 4,000 illegal immigrants voted in Nevada. 1,500 dead people voted. 19,000 non-residents of Nevada voted. 42,000 people in Nevada voted more than once. 8,000 ballots came from non-existent addresses. 15,000 ballots from vacant addresses voted. They've been rigging and stealing our elections for decades. This is in the state of Nevada. We all knew this. I knew this. I watched this in real time in 2020. You didn't have to tell me this. Jesse Benal, he proved this. But the state legislators of Nevada didn't give a darn. They didn't care. And it was more of a liberal state at the time. It's flipped. It's become more Republican, more moderate Republican, so to speak. But you still have a lot of rhinos in the state legislature. And they don't care. And again, nobody's being held accountable for this. I know Kash Patel is going in there, and Mark Wayne Mullen, is going in there. And he's going to point out the people that knew about the fraud and said nothing. Remember, President Trump exposed China to rigging the 2020 election, as well as the deep state, which is your government. People in your government in the United States of America rigged the election against Donald Trump. They yanked Donald Trump out of there and put in Joe Otto Penn Biden in as your, quote, president, and Kamala Harris as your, quote, vice president. Then they yanked Joe Biden out of there and plucked in Kamala Harris as the Democrat nominee. She didn't even have to campaign to be the Democrat nominee for president, with this idiot Tom Waltz as her running mate, which was the dumbest person they could have as her running mate. They didn't want, I heard mixed reports that Josh Shapiro wanted it. He didn't want it. They didn't want him because he was Jewish and he supported Israel. And then stupid Josh Shapiro, he freaking flip-flop on his position on Israel, said, I didn't mean to support Israel. Dumbass. And now he's up for re-election. He's a moron. But I'm just like, this is so asinine. It's ridiculous. It is so ridiculous. The fraud is right there. It's right in front of you. It was in front of the state legislators. Rudy Giuliani lost his law license for this. Many people went to jail for exposing the election fraud. But again, who is causing election fraud? It's not just the machines, it's not the voter rolls. It's corrupt internal election personnel, like I said on Tuesday. And I'm going to continue to hammer it. My friend William Newton proved it in Maryland 2020 W research, which has been archived in almost every state GOP nationwide, including Florida, Maryland, Alaska, Arizona. He's got people on the ground in Arizona every day talking about the rigging of the election, of the 2020 election, 2022 elections, and even before then. He knew. But he was the one that said it is corrupt internal election personnel. What does that mean? It means your election judge is corrupt internal election personnel. It's your state board of elections that are all corrupt election personnel. It's your mailmen. It's anyone that's involved in the elections. Anyone that's touching the ballot is your corrupt internal election personnel. Your own government is corrupt internal election personnel. Your own government was working with China. And I have a lot of friends that don't trust our government. Yeah, we have new people in there at the top, but we need to start cleaning the morons from underneath, because there's too many Obama holdovers and Biden holdovers still in there, and there's too many Bush holdovers in there too. Too many rhinos in there still, especially in the ODNI, in the FBI, the DOJ. Just clean them all out. DHS is getting better. State Department is better under Marco Rubio. The Pentagon is much better under Secretary of War Pete Hegseth. But ODNI, DNI, CIA, they're all still in there. FBI, Kash Patel needs to do a better job of getting rid of all those holdovers. You know, people get upset. He comes out and says, let cops be cops. I'm so proud of the people of the FBI. Well, you still have too many holdovers in there, dude. Get rid of them all. And the defense is, well, you don't know what they see behind the scenes. There's probably a lot of corruption, and they're trying to just weed out the bad, you know, what they call the bad seeds or the bad apples. But you've been there for 2 years now. Like, I would, in my opinion, at least a third of the corrupt people should be gone. And people are waiting for arrests, and we're not getting them. And it's very frustrating. Now, I am of the mindset, you trust the man, trust the plan. You know that I support President Trump 100%. I support him more than I ever have. I love the man very much. I understand him. I understand his rhetoric. I understand how he's playing chess. And I know some people out there are frustrated, some of his, quote, hardcore Trump supporters. But if you are a hardcore Trump supporter and you claim that you're loyal to him, you will back off and you'll let him do the work. You'll back off and support him. You'll help him peel off the layers. You'll help him instead of criticizing him. You'll help him instead of debate him. You'll help him instead of challenge him. My job as the new conservative media at the White House is to help him, to give him the information and the research that he needs so he can do his job. But if one of the people from our network criticize him and hurt him and talk crap about him, that doesn't help him, and we wouldn't be at the White House. My job is not to go after my commander-in-chief. My job is to report fair and balanced news, but my job is also to tell the truth, the real truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God. My job is not to be an opinion soundbite like Caitlin Collins from CNN. My job is to be a factual journalist and a factual podcaster for you guys. That's why I'm at the White House. Because I don't spread lies, and I'm not an opinion soundbite, and I don't attack the president, and I won't. I personally will not attack him. He's doing a great job. I have high hopes for him. I have high hopes for this country with him in office. But again, trust the man, trust the plan. Stop getting so hysterical. Take a step back. Remember, if you're too emotional, it screws up your logic. You have to not think emotionally, you have to think logically. It's very important, guys, that we understand going into the midterms how important the Save America Act is to pass, but also it's very important that you trust your commander-in-chief, that you have his back, that you have your allies' back, and that if you truly care about this country, if you truly believe in America first, then you want to do everything you can to help we the people, legal citizens of this country. Don't give illegals a pass. Oh my God, they came here. They've been here for 25 years. They deserve a second chance. They had their chance. They had their chance to come here legally and obtain citizenship. That crap doesn't happen in other countries, by the way. You can't creep into another country illegally and think that you're just going to be able to stay. Let me tell you something. Israel doesn't want that crap. Israel has a very strong vetting system. And actually, George W. Bush, he said that Israel has one of the best vetting systems in the world when it comes to illegal immigration, that America should acquire that same vetting process in America that they do in Israel. That doesn't happen in France, doesn't happen in Hungary. I was with Marton Negrozi, who worked under the Secretary of State, that department under Viktor Orban. They're very strict about their immigration policies. They don't just let people come in. And they keep that bridge strong between Serbia and Hungary so that they don't have illegals coming over the wall. Marton said on our interview, he said, walls work. Same thing in Israel. They have huge walls. Walls do work. We got to keep building them. That's why President Trump wants to continue building the wall, which he hasn't been able to do because of these rhinos and Democrats in Congress. That's why it's time for fresh new leadership, and it's time for a fresh new way of life. Well, before our break, before our guest comes in segment 2, don't forget our sponsor, FoliumPX.com, toxic heavy metals, full body detox. This is great right after 4th of July, after you've had those hamburgers and those hot dogs. This is very good after a fast. This is a Jewish holiday tonight. It's called Tisha B'Av. We're just ending the fast after, I would say, depending on where you are, my fast ends around 9:45. But if you have been fasting all day, it's really good to take Folding in PX, it's really good to take a free radical support or an antioxidant because you haven't been able to get nutrients all day. You haven't been able to eat or drink or so forth. So please, guys, it's very, very important that you take your vitamins, that you help your system. This helps with your immune system. This helps with fertility. This helps with weight loss. This helps with headaches. This helps with hemorrhoids. This helps with so many issues. It's like one pill that does it all. I love the guy who created. He's a Jewish guy from the country of Georgia. We've had him on our show. He's fabulous. Please, guys, go to FolioMPX.com. There's a lot of discounts going on right now because of the summer. So click on the QR code. We'll be right back. We have a special guest coming up. We'll be right back, guys, after the break.
Welcome to America's Pulse Network. This is APN's very own White House correspondent, Alexandra Levine.
This is so amazing and miraculous. We've never had a president in the history of our nation doing this. And we hope to God that he continues doing this forever and ever. Thank you. God bless you, everybody. And God bless President Trump.
And God bless you.
Hello, everyone. This is Alexandra Levine with the America's Pulse Network. I am the White House correspondent right here in the heart of D.C. as President Trump is celebrating 250 years of America and the military.
Subscribe and follow America's Pulse Network on the above social medias.
Well, hey guys, welcome back to the America's Pulse Network. We have a wonderful special guest. She's a repeat guest, but she is running for Congress in the 10th Congressional District in the state of Virginia. And I talked a lot about Virginia in segment one. Let's bring her on, my good friend, Julie Spivey Perry.
Hey,
Welcome back.
Oh my gosh, it's always so good to see you.
Oh, you're so sweet. I know. Did you like my little rant?
Yes, I loved it. I was like, preach it, girlfriend.
I know, like I come up with one thing and then another thing just comes out. So as you know, I was preaching so hard on the Save America Act, because this is crucial, especially for your position. You're running for a federal race. And we really want to pass this on the federal level. Hopefully it'll trickle down to the state level. So tell us your thoughts and feelings about that. And how do you feel the Congress that should go forward with this?
Well, first and foremost, living in blue Virginia, it's a need. Oh my gosh. And of course, the Virginia Democrats, they don't like it. But if they don't like it, it's a great thing.
That's true.
If Dan Helmer and Abigail Spanberger and Scott Servell are crying, it's a great thing.
That's good. I like that. That's really good.
So anytime they're upset, it's great. But here's the thing. If we don't, I'm a history teacher, as you know. And if we want to keep our republic, we have to have secure elections. Voter ID. You know what? Here's the thing. It's not hard to get an ID. And yes, I'm married. And when I got married, guess what? It was really easy to change my name on my ID. It really was. So don't let the left gaslight you into that, because I am a woman that got married and had to change her. Had to change her last name.
Thank you for clarifying that for the record.
Yes. There's two genders, by the way, male and female.
Thank you. This is coming from a teacher, guys. So
yes, I'm a teacher saying this. We can't change the 23rd chromosome. The body. So,
it's very true. It's very true. So I mean,
loves to gaslight about that. So yeah,
it's disgusting. So I mean, they put finally, to pass the budget, they kind of snuck in a little bit of the Save America Act to get something passed. But that's disgusting that we can't just pass it on its own.
Yes.
So yeah, it's sick. So
it's sickening.
Again, I mean, you're in Congress, you're going to be in Congress. And you have, Speaker Johnson, thank God he stepped up, and did something, thank God.
Yes.
But, I can say, because you're in Virginia, what is the talk of the constituents in Virginia? Like, what do they think about this?
They want it passed. 84% of America wants it passed, even Democrats. I'm the anomaly in my profession, and even my Democrat colleagues have said it needs to get passed. I mean, and so what is John Thune doing? And it's
He's
like,
calling China. He's calling China and saying, "What do I do, China?"
exactly. It's like, dude, you're a rhino. Let's face the fact. You are a rhino. Get it passed.
So as you were stating, your state was red under Glenn Youngkin and Winston Sears and Jason Harris, but unfortunately it flipped Democrat to Spamberger, and you have a crazy lieutenant governor and an even crazier attorney general.
Oh gosh.
And as you know, Ms. Spamberger is she's signing off all of these bills, and she's signing out all these executive orders. So I know that, you're running on the federal level, but on the federal level, is there anything you can do to override what Spamberger has passed into law?
Well, first of all, banning ICE at polling places. I've got news for Miss Spamberger and the Virginia Democrats. Federal law trumps state law. I know. If you don't like it, cope. Get counseling, guys.
You're so funny. I love it.
And so, yeah, I'm sorry. So my thoughts are, I love how Tom Holman says, "Oh, you want to pass that law? Too bad. I'm coming in anyway."
It's true. And actually, ICE, they really procure our elections and they help our elections. Like
That's right.
when I was in Hungary, I spoke to the main guy who worked for the State Department under Orban, Martin Grossi, and he said, we have like law enforcement that come into our elections. We have people like ICE that come in to secure the elections to make sure there's no shenanigans. Unfortunately, Viktor Orban, he did lose, but they said it was, even though Viktor Orban lost, it was a free and fair election because they had the proper people in there to make sure that the ballots are counted, that night, and make sure there's no shenanigans. So why would people like Spamberger, why would they push back on that? Is it because they
need their votes?
Yeah, that's right.
They need their votes. They don't care if they're criminals. They got to add them to the census for 2030. Got to use their votes to rig elections.
That's right.
I want their votes.
Yeah. And I wholeheartedly believe that Spamberger completely cheated in her congressional race. Because I saw the numbers. Nick Freitas totally beat her. And then she came out with like a hard drive of like extra ballots for her and no one else. And and unfortunately, Nick Freitas, in my opinion, he should have contested and he didn't. But I wholeheartedly believe that he won that election.
I do too.
I still believe that to this day.
And I'm also convinced, I thank God for President Trump's executive order on mail-in ballots. I said, you know what? I mean, and I know the Virginia Democrats are crying to their and boo-hooing, but too bad. And President Trump is actually even sending people to watch my primary.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, that's great.
Oh yeah, so that that way they can't try to rig it. And so thank God for that. He's sending it. Virginia is one of the states because we had this shenanigans with the referendum. No was winning until magically Fairfax dumped 35 yes ballots. Oh, Jesus, Mother Moses, right?
Well, I can tell you that Harmeen Dillon, she swore in 100 brand new attorneys under her department. And that's what she does. She does election integrity. That's what she does.
I love her. Yeah.
She's doing a great job. And, she even said anyone who committed illegal activity in the 2020 election and beyond, we're going after them and we're going to put them in handcuffs. And that's what the American people want to see. I mean, you're smart and you're a very smart woman. I mean, you saw the fraud in 2020.
Oh, yeah.
And remember, we couldn't say anything. Oh my God, if we said that the elections were stolen in 2020, you get shadow banned and we'd go to jail or, worse, we had FBI knocking on our door. Like, how did you know? Like, did you rig it yourself? Like, it was crazy. Now, thanks to President Trump, we can say it without getting shadow banned because it's the truth. President Trump laid it all out last week. He declassified everything. We know that it was Joe Otto Penn Biden was installed in there. And we know that other people were signing off for him. Like they said, Elizabeth Warren and other people were like signing off for him. It was just crazy. The guy had clear dementia and he had cancer while he was in office. But of course, Dr. Jill Biden, oh my God, a doctor of BS, she covered for him. And Hunter Biden covered for his father too, with and then the cocaine in the White House. Actually, they said it was Kamala Harris's cocaine. So why didn't she go to jail?
Boy.
Yeah, it was just like,
Shocker.
it was crazy. The fact that Hunter Biden is still walking free, just I can't. It just it irks me. It's really disgusting.
I know.
It's disgusting.
I know.
So going back to what we were talking about with ICE, do you feel since Spamberger has been the governor that the crime in Virginia, especially in your district, has risen?
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, talk to us more about that.
You know who's really outraged about that? The Hispanic community.
Well, of course. Mm.
The
legal Hispanic community.
Oh yeah, they're actually, saying, we like President Trump. We support ICE.
Mm-hmm.
So, when the left lies and says they don't support ICE, boy, is that a lie.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want, and you know what? It's especially the legal Hispanics, they're the most angry about, illegals coming in the country because they went through the process. I've talked to many Hispanics who are frustrated with the Democrats, who are not, who are just like, they're letting these people roam free. It's not okay.
Yeah, and these are people, like you said, that came here legally and did the correct processes. They didn't live off our system for 25 years. They actually got their American citizenship immediately. I know friends of mine from Ohio that are Ukrainian and Russian, they came here legally through a sponsor, whether it's the Jewish Federation
my grandmas.
or a sponsor. Yes, so my grandparents, they came here to Ellis Island through a sponsor. That's how it was. Yeah.
Both of my grandmas are Canadian. Mm-hmm. Which is odd, which is crazy because they both went through the process. And yeah, I remember when I was a kid having a conversation with my grandma, and I said, "Grandma, you took your citizenship test?" And she's like, "Yeah." And both my grandpas were American citizens, but they had to go through the process.
That's right.
And so everybody has to go through the process. And if you're going to come here legally. Look at our great First Lady.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's a great example, prime example.
Oh, yeah. And
she's so happy to get an American citizen. Go ahead.
She does. And she's just the shining example of, of what it means to come here legally in the American dream. And it's like, but the left-wing media won't say it.
Right.
Because it hurts their narrative.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So I think the biggest enemy we've got is the left-wing media.
I agree.
Totally. And that's why I'm grateful for people like you, Alex, because you report the truth instead of propaganda.
Thank you. I really appreciate you saying that.
Yeah, I mean, the Clinton News Network, CNN, or the Clown News Network, they report propaganda, MSDNC. Let's call them what they are.
Yeah, I've actually been in the White House press briefing room with Caitlin Collins, and I just stare her down. I don't even want to go up and say anything to her because the president's right. She literally stands there. She's never smiled. She's not a very attractive woman, but President Trump's like, if you smiled, maybe you look a little bit more attractive, but she doesn't smile, and she's just mean. And she's there. She has an agenda. She has an agenda.
She sure does.
She takes orders from the people on top, but also she really believes the crap that she's spewing, and she really it's all opinion based. All she does is just state her opinion, and it's what the hell did President Trump ever do to you? Why do you hate him so much? Are you jealous because he's a billionaire? Are you jealous that you could never marry any of his children? What's going on here?
Exactly.
Seriously. I'm so sorry. What is wrong with you?
Exactly.
So I kind of want to touch a little bit with you on the war in Iran. Because that's a really big thing right now.
Yes.
And a lot of people are pissed off that America's involved. They're all like, oh, it's Israel first, which it's really not. And the prime minister of Israel has said, I don't tell President Trump what to do. He's his own person. He does whatever he wants to do. And President Bibi Netanyahu, he is Israel first, and he'll do what's in the best interest of his people. But I hate to say it, for the alt-right movement of our party, the Republican Party, to be pushing this narrative that all Jews are bad and this is terrible, and they're crapping on Netanyahu. They may not like some people in the government, they may not like the IDF, but I hate to say they really don't know what's going on over there. They really don't. And for oh my God, for how many Democrats voted to not give military arms to Israel, and that's to help them. It's disgusting. I mean, Israel's our biggest ally. We do a lot of stuff with them. We do trade with them. We use their agriculture. We use their central intelligence. I mean, it's tit for tat. They help us. We help them.
Yes.
So why would any Democrat or even Republican like Thomas Massey, who's a freaking idiot, put out bills against Israel and say Israel's the bad guy, and then they attack APAC, and they go all over the place. It's just like an attacking Jew war going on this time. What is your opinion on that?
Well, first and foremost, my grandpa on my mom's side is Jewish. Basically, he was full. I guess you could say he's Messianic Jewish now, Christian, but he was full. He practiced. He went to synagogue and everything,
That's awesome.
and so yeah, so of course, and he loves Israel, and I believe what the Bible says. I will bless those that bless Israel, and I will curse those that curse Israel.
Amen.
And here's the thing. They are the only country in the Middle East that doesn't hate America.
Yeah.
Every other country in the Middle East wants to see us destroyed and wiped off the mat.
That's true.
And I
That's very
wish
true.
people would see that. The other thing with Iran, they chant, the Islamic regime republic has chanted death to America, and they mean it.
Mm-hmm.
They
Right.
mean it.
100% right.
And if we don't do something, they will try to destroy us with those nukes. And I hope people understand this.
I agree with everything that you said. And again, people in my opinion don't understand. I mean, you're a teacher, so you teach us stuff. The issue that I'm having is that the school boards and the teachers, they don't teach history. They teach propaganda, like you said. In Montgomery County, Maryland, they have teachers that are part of CARE, which is a terrorist organization. They're in the classrooms. They're pushing their pro-Hamas propaganda into the classroom. They get suspended, but their teaching certificates aren't revoked, which is disgusting. And it's asinine to me. Thank God in Pennsylvania, I was able to work with State Senator Doug Mastriano to mandate full Holocaust education in the entire state of Pennsylvania. And we'll work on that in Virginia, and I'm working on it in Ohio, and I'm working on it in Maryland. But it's disgusting that we can't teach the history as it was, that they only give a week of Holocaust education, or they don't even teach the Spanish Inquisition. They don't teach the Revolutionary War. I mean, this is real history, guys. Like, I'm scared, for our children, because our children are learning crap. They're not learning real things. And I know you're a teacher. My mom's a teacher too in Sarasota County. She teaches senior English. And, she's kind of like on her way to retirement, but people are pleading with her, like, do not retire, because my mom is kind of like the last of the good teachers. She's afraid that if she retires, who's going to come in and take over for her? Some woke person? Sarasota County, it's supposed to be more conservative, but you're dealing with the teachers union, and you're dealing with a lot of these liberal teachers that will push the pronoun crap and all that BS.
Two genders, male and female.
Exactly. And on the federal level, what, as a teacher, what are you going to implement on the federal level in terms of education?
Okay, first of all, what needs to happen is schools need to lose their funding if they're going to not follow federal law.
Thank you.
And there was actually a bill the House passed about losing funding, about not informing parents if a child chooses to change their gender, and not informing parents on what's going on, and that pushes, the transgender agenda.
Mm-hmm.
Now it passed, but the incumbent Sue Haas voted against it. Why would you vote against it when Loudoun County makes up a good bit of the district, and that's a big issue there?
Mm-hmm. And we know what happened in Loudoun County, everybody. We all know what happened.
Gosh.
Mm-hmm.
We all.
The parents woke up. I hate to say it, thanks to COVID, but the parents woke up and saw what the hell their kids were learning in school, and they marched into the school board, and they were like, what the hell? Mm-hmm.
Teacher unions need to lose their federal charter.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Because you know what? You take away their federal charter, you take away their power, and you take away a lot of problems, because they are the root of it all.
And you're a big proponent, I would say, of school choice.
Big time. It is overdue. And you know what? Even teachers that think that it's not a good idea would realize, oh, we get to we can teach at a school of our choice
Yeah, that's
and
true.
make probably just as much money, if not more, and we can be happier.
Because I think the
And
push now is to have your kids go to public school, to have the public school environment. But a lot of parents have pulled their kids out of public school because of what's being taught there. Like,
yes,
my sister homeschools her kids because she will not, and then she homeschools them. She's in Florida. She does not want her kids learning, stuff that is not going to help her children in the future. But also, her children were being heavily bullied, and the teachers weren't doing anything about it. They were like allowing my nephew to be bullied by another boy, and he was touched inappropriately. And my sister said, "I got to pull my son out of public school. Like, this is crazy." But the point is, like, parents cannot afford homeschooling because it is expensive process, and it's very hard if you are a stay-at-home mom or so forth. I'm sorry, a single mom and trying to make ends meet. It's very hard unless you have proper help. But, we want to make our public schools safe. We want to make them an education source. So when the kids graduate, and go to college, they have like a knowledge of something.
That's right. Let the money follow the child.
Exactly.
Let the money follow the child and let the parents choose.
Exactly. I agree with you.
And if people want to homeschool, they should also have the right to homeschool.
Yep. I agree with that too.
So, let the parents choose. Let the parents, let the parents be the parents. And last time I checked, parents don't co-parent with the government.
It's disgusting. It's really
disgusting. So it's just but I think the big thing is the unions, they need to have their charter revoked. We need to withhold federal funding from schools that won't follow federal law. Another big thing is special ed. Here's the IDEA laws are not being followed. And you know what? It's time to do audits into the schools, into these schools that are not spending the money on the kids. They're literally taking money, federal dollars for kids that have special needs, but they're not spending it on the kids. They're spending it on administration bloat, lawyers to cover up their corruption, which is disgusting. And so that needs to end.
I agree with you 100%.
And it's time, and the big thing is, it's time to call these school board lawyers in, and it's time to start holding them accountable.
I agree. I think, in my opinion, I think they're wussies. I think they're afraid, which is disgusting. This is, most of these attorneys have kids too. Like, come on.
Yep.
Step it up to the plate.
Well, and it's the lawyers, it's the school lawyers that are bullying other attorneys.
Yep,
so
that's true too. That's 100%
absolutely time to go after these school board lawyers and their law firms.
Yep, I agree. 100%. I hope that, I hope other private sector attorneys will do that. I really do.
Me too. And I've been blessed to have a very good attorney, help me, because believe me, that's what you need if you come out as a conservative teacher.
Oh yeah.
Because guess what? I make some people mad.
Oh yeah. My mom's in a group chat with just the conservative teachers at her school, and they're very hush hush. Obviously, thank God they have their principal is very Republican. Thank God, and have a hardcore Republican governor. And a lot of people are nervous because they want Byron Donalds to be like Ron, and he's not going to be like Ron. So they're kind of skeptical. They don't know what's going to happen, but it is what it is. I believe that Florida will stay Republican. Hopefully for a long many years to come. Just two more questions for you. So one big question is, I'm a big proponent, and so is my friend Seth Eisenberg on this network, is giving money to the candidate and helping the candidate out, as opposed to the RNC, giving money to the clubs, the committees, because a lot of that money, it really goes to the clubs and the committees. They claim that they're going to give you, the candidate, the money, but at the end of the day, they pocket their own money, and you'll get $1 if you're lucky. Or they pick and choose who they want to support and who they want to give to. Now, as you know, under their bylaws, under the RNC bylaws and the Virginia GOP bylaws and the Virginia caucus, they're not allowed to endorse a candidate before the primary. Correct. But what can the RNC and the GOP do without quote unquote endorsing you. But can the individual people give you money? What can they do to help?
Yes.
Sign wave? Can they help get out the vote? What can they do for you?
So I've been very blessed. One of our RNC chairwoman, Patty Lyman in Virginia.
I love her. Love Patty.
I love her. She
Love
has
Patty.
my whole heart. She has been supporting me in her own capacity.
Oh, awesome. I love that.
And so she makes it very clear she is not supporting me as the RNC chairwoman.
But
She's
as an
supporting
individual.
me in her capacity, and she gave me a very generous $500 donation.
Very
Karen
nice.
Hamilton, who is a dear friend of mine and is a delegate in our Virginia General Assembly, and who is not a rhino and who is an outspoken patriot, has strongly supported me, and she's given me $500.
That's awesome.
And we have a grassroots campaign, and Alex, I gotta tell you, you know what I've loved about all this? I've loved the fact that I only had to pay $200 to collect my signatures because I had all volunteers.
That's awesome. That's
I
great.
have people volunteering to throw events for me,
That's
fundraisers. Great. John Reed, who ran for lieutenant governor, and I wish would have won, is actually going to be a guest speaker at a fundraiser for me.
I love that. That'll be great.
I have a true grassroots campaign. And
I love that.
We're getting small donations, which is great because I'd rather have grassroots support than corrupt money behind me.
True. It's very, very true. What would you say in regards to your opponent? How many opponents do you have?
Right now, I have two, but
okay.
Nobody really has met one, Anthony Suttles. So, yeah, we don't know who he is.
There you go. Didn't you just love that?
Yeah. I'm like, okay, well, and then another one. And then, but we got to defeat Suhas. And luckily, I am in a district where it's a purple district. We can do it. Good. And we can win this thing in November. And I'm the candidate that can win this. It's because I'm a teacher. I disrupt the Democrats' agenda. I know the left, they just love that I'm an outspoken conservative.
I love it. I love it.
But we can beat this because we can get, a lot of teachers to our side. And we can get the Second Amendment people that our dear governor, Abigail Spanberger, has angered. And Dan Helmer. I have to say those two together are the greatest gun salesmen in Virginia. They should get an award.
I love that. That's awesome. Well, I hope all the 2A groups endorse you and support you. I really do.
Oh, yeah, really absolutely.
My friend Donald Willinger, who's very loyal to our program, he lives in Texas. He's my Jewish friend in Texas. He says, Julie will make it. Julie will win.
Oh, that's awesome.
So you have someone out in Texas that has faith in you, that believes in you, and that's awesome. That's really great.
That is amazing.
Yeah. Jewish Republican guys out of Texas.
That is incredible.
Yeah. Jewish Republicans, please vote for Julie. If you have Jews in your district, please, God.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. I push for that all the time. I'm like, please go with the most conservative person, please, God. Yeah, because I don't even know, like you said, I don't even know your other opponents. I figured you were running unopposed. I had no clue because you've been out there, you've been doing events. Also, we just have a minute, to promote yourself. Tell us any upcoming events that are coming up.
Yes.
And where my viewers can, your voters, I should say, where they can find you.
So I have an ice cream social coming up this Saturday in Rappahannock County. And I also have a fundraiser coming up next week in Richmond. And John Reed is going to be my guest of honor. And what else? Oh, and then I have, let's see. Oh, yeah. PerryForVirginia.com is where you can find my information.
Yeah, I'm telling my producer to put back up your QR code.
Okay. Perry for Virginia.
Is it Perry the number 4 Virginia?
No, Perry FOR. So Perry FOR. But my Twitter is
there. It is.
Yep, Julie for Virginia. If you guys could donate, it would every little bit goes a long way, even if it's $5.
I can tell you, you'll get a personal donation from me. You'll also get some donations from my friends in Ohio. Just an FYI.
Oh, sweet!
And I'm from
Yay!
Florida, so you have a Florida donation, Ohio donation. So they'll be
Thank
coming your way.
you.
And when is your primary, Julie?
August 4th. So
oh my God, it's coming up. Oh my God. So you're in the process of it's early voting right now?
Yep.
Oh my
So
God,
if you
geez.
can get out and early vote, that would be great.
Didn't you guys have like 45 days of early voting, like some
It's
crazy number?
ridiculous. We need to get that down.
So
But a
do
lot
you
of
have people from the DOJ now watching your primary for early voting,
That's
or are they
what I
going
was
to wait? Are they
told.
going to do it for the election?
Yep. That's what I was told. Harmy Dillon sent out a nice warning tweet to everybody. You're being watched.
Awesome.
So
awesome.
I love it. I absolutely love it, especially with the shenanigans that went down with our referendum. And thank God the Virginia Supreme Court said no. And what happened out in LA with Spencer Pratt.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. What happened to Spencer Pratt? It freaked out my candidate out in Maryland. My friend Tim Faismaker won his primary because he was running. So my friend Tim, he lives in a very MAGA America First district, but they were putting up this horrific rhino against him. And you know,
Wow.
Tim, and I'm just like, unbelievable. And we thought that, because he did very well election night, we were very scared with the mail-in ballots that they were going to come in and like take his win from him. Thank God that he had enough. He made it too big to rig, so they couldn't take it from him. But the mail-in ballots are going to be a big factor going into the general with him because, oh my God, Maryland loves those mail-in ballots. And of course, Governor Westmore came out and said he's helping black men be governors, become governors, and of course, incumbent black governors because the guy's a total racist.
Does that include Republicans?
Well, that's what I said. I said, is he going to help Byron Donalds?
Republicans?
Yeah, I was like, is he going to help Byron Donalds? Because Byron Donalds is black. So is he going to help, a black Republican?
What is Westmore going to do with President Trump's executive order? Is he going to throw a temper tantrum?
Probably. The guy wants to run for president anyway. So, it's insane. I mean, he thinks he's going to win re-election right away. And then, of course, he'll probably run for president 2028. But it's so disgusing. But he's the topic for another day. But I just want to thank you so much, Julie, for coming on.
You.
Really appreciate it. Oh, you're awesome.
I loved it.
Guys, go to her QR code, donate to her, give her $500, please.
Aww.
And if you already gave $500 to her, Patty Lyman, double it and make it another $500.
Right.
Seriously, that's what I say. And if anytime when Julie ran and you gave her money in the past, if you gave her $50, $100, double it this time because we need money for our Republicans. We need money for our proper Republican candidates. And I love the fact that you're a teacher and you're running a wonderful campaign. And oh my God, the Democrat, whoever that becomes is, the incumbent. The incumbent is going to be freaking out because the incumbent will have to spend their own money against you.
Yeah, that's right. I love it.
Thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate it.
All right, bye. Have a good one.
You too. So going on to the next break. Thank you. So don't forget our sponsor, our second sponsor, rncstore.com/ALL. That's rncstore.com/ALL. ALL is the 10% off discount. If you do not put in ALL, you do not get a discount. The beauty of this QR code is, guess what? It automatically has the discount in there for you. Again, I'm a natural person. I'm into natural herbs, natural supplements, detoxing the body. If you are one of those people that are freaking out over the, I call it E. coli poisoning, but the parasital poisoning that's been going on, if you've been eating lettuce, if you've been eating fruit, please take these supplements because they're good preventatives against all of that. I would advise you not to eat iceberg lettuce. Do not eat salad in a bag. Don't eat cilantro. Don't eat basil. Don't eat they say like celery. You have to be very careful with things like this. I wouldn't even eat fruit right now at this time. Unless you can thoroughly wash it in vinegar and salt, they say, make it like a saltwater vinegar type of mix. But seriously, guys, this is a big, serious thing. So many people got affected, especially in the Midwest and in Maryland and so forth. I'm afraid to eat anything. I eat like crackers all day now. And I love salad and I've been gaining weight because I've been eating, friggin' crackers. But you know what? I'm not gaining as much weight because I'm taking these supplements. So please, guys, rncstore.com/ALL. Stay with us. We are live on 15 Connections on YouTube, on X, on Rumble, on True Social, on TikTok, on Parler, on Substack, on Spotify. You name it, we're on it. Stay with us. We'll be right back after the break.
Hi, I'm Alexandra Levine. I'm a professional opera singer, actress, TV, and radio personality. Since 2015, I've been a volunteer, a field director, and a campaign manager, learning the ins and outs of the political world. That's why I became a political consultant. My job is to lead you to victory with organization, structure, and the mindset of winning for your district or state. With my guidance and direction, I can keep you focused on the things that matter to the people and advise you on key issues that need to be addressed. If you're a serious candidate that is serious about winning, then book a consultation with me today. Go to levineconsulting.co. You'll be happy you did.
Well, we are back. I'm Alexandra Levine live with the America's Pulse Network. I just want to say to my Jewish brothers and sisters that are celebrating Tisha B'Av tonight, I hope you had an easy fast. This was a very solemn holiday. This holiday has to do with the destruction of the second and third temples in Jerusalem. So I know a lot of people were fasting all day and all night. It's a 24-hour fast. And if you have already broken your fast, I hope that you are refreshed and cleansed of the sins of what happened back then, because every time you fast, it is a cleansing. It kind of reminds me of Yom Kippur. But I just want to say to my Jewish brothers and sisters that are celebrating all over the country and the world, especially in Israel, because I do have people that watch my show from Israel, my friend Saba, God bless you guys, and looking forward to the Jewish New Year, looking forward to Rosh Hashanah. So segment 3, of course, discusses this idiot Mondami. Let's put up slide number 1. So as you know, stupid Mondami went on his TikTok and did a video. First he says that if Netanyahu comes to New York City, he's going to arrest him under the laws of the ICC. Then he backpedals it and says, well, I found out I can't legally arrest Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, but I'm calling on the federal government and the feds to do it for me since I can't do it. This guy is an anti-Semite. What this guy said on his video about Netanyahu was complete lies and propaganda. And this is who the people of New York put into power. I hate to say it. Jewish Democrats voted for this guy in the primary. And I know a lot of the Jewish Republicans and Democrats didn't really vote for him in the general, but you put him in the primary, which I knew was a disaster. And I knew the guy was going to get in. And freaking Cuomo was an idiot by being an independent and screwing everything up. And I hate to say it, Curtis Silva should have backed out. He should have backed out. He didn't help by staying in. And now he's bashing Netanyahu all over the place, Mr. Silva, on Piers Morgan. I'm so sick of people bashing the Prime Minister of Israel. He's actually doing for the people of his country, including American Jews that have dual citizenship, including our American troops. He literally makes sure that American troops are not in Israel because he doesn't want them to die on his soil. He doesn't want any American Jew to die on his soil. He also feels for the American soldiers that died in Jordan, American soldiers that have died in Gaza, American soldiers that have died in Syria and Qatar and all over the Middle East and Kuwait and so forth and Bahrain. He's actually trying to expand the Abraham Accords with President Trump and Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff and Marco Rubio and so forth. To shit on a prime minister who literally had nothing to do with October 7th and made sure to bring every hostage back, either dead or alive. For people to attack him, they really don't know what's going on. And, there's an election coming up soon. I know there's talk about getting rid of him, and he's going through the trial from hell for no reason. President Herzog should pardon him, as President Trump has said. I really hope that the people of Israel do not vote him out. Likud, which is his party, actually has the majority vote right now. But you never know. And Israel does have free and fair elections. But there's a lot of propaganda that's going around. Oh, Donald Wollinger said Mondami won't be around much longer. He's under investigation. Well, that's good. I'm not sure what he's under investigation for. I haven't delved into that. Maybe my guest, or not my guest, I'm sorry, my friend there can tell us more in detail. But Mr. Mondami, I don't believe he came here legally. Not at all. I don't believe he has American citizenship. I think he's a fraud. He really needs to go back to Uganda, he and his wife. I mean, he loves Uganda more than America, I can tell you that. But for this guy to come out and say, if Netanyahu comes to New York City, I'll make sure that he gets arrested. And then he lies and says, I'll hold any elected official or any prime minister or president accountable that's under the ICC. That is such bullcrap. And the ICC has no jurisdiction and no power, by the way. Like America, we laugh about it, and Israel does too. And now there's memes and videos going around that Netanyahu is going to move to New York and he's going to troll Mandami because Mandami can't do anything to him. On Tuesday, my question was, what NYPD police officer would literally arrest the prime minister of Israel? You don't think there'd be World War III in this country? The Mossad is on top of this. And it is a risk for Netanyahu to come to New York because people do want his head. When he came to DC and he spoke in front of the halls of Congress, under Biden, oh my God, it was awful what they tried to do to him. He was in a hotel, I think it was the W, and there was like rat racin thrown in the lobby of the hotel. Somebody pulled the fire alarm on and off. The guy barely got any sleep. Then they were desecrating monuments while he was there. They were literally taking down the American flag in Union Station and putting up the Palestinian flag. I mean, it was like World War III in DC. And then when Netanyahu left DC to come to Mar-a-Lago, it was like day and night. Netanyahu was so happy to be at Mar-a-Lago. It was like paradise. He's like, I came from hell in DC and entered heaven. You open up Mar-a-Lago, it's the gates of heaven. I love Mar-a-Lago. I've been there many times. I love Mar-a-Lago. It's such a peaceful place, and you have servants that do everything for you. They wait on you hand and foot, and they have decorum, and they're classy people, and they know how to handle elected prime ministers and presidents, dictators, ambassadors, and so forth. But where the hell does Mandami come off to threaten the prime minister of Israel? Who the hell is he? He has some damn nerve, and he's got a lot of chutzpah, which is Yiddish for nerve. He's a pishika, as we say in Yiddish, which is like a little boy who pisses in his pants. He's a nothing. He's a nobody. And there should be repercussions, and he should be held accountable for what he said, because he's literally putting the prime minister of Israel's life in danger by the rhetoric that he said and the rhetoric that he continues to say. Let's put up the second slide. So this is another meme that came out. So Mayor Zohar Mandami lecture and book signing on Tisha B'Av, which I said is a very important holiday in Judaism. It's Lamentations. It talks about the destruction of the second and third temples in Jerusalem. So this is Tisha B'Av 5786. 5786 is how long the Jews have been walking this earth. At Jewish Voice for Peace, which is an anti-Semitic group. They're anti-Jew Jews. They're actually run by George Soros. So instead of him, going to a synagogue and hanging out with Chabad rabbis and learning a thing or two, he's having a lecture and book signing. I think he did it yesterday at Jewish Voices for Peace, Brooklyn chapter. And the address was upon RSVP. I don't know where they had it in Brooklyn. But again, shame on this man. Shame on this man. There's a lot of Jews that live in New York City. A lot of them have left. And a lot of them are Orthodox Jews, practicing Jews, conservative Jews. I lived in Manhattan for many years. They have Chabads all over the place. This guy is choosing to go to the Chabad of Midtown, which I've been many times. He decides to go to a book signing event with Jewish Voices for Peace on one of the most important holidays in the summer for the Jewish people. Yeah, there we go. Don Willinger confirming me. Mandani may have misled people on his application to become an American. I agree with that. Like I said, I don't believe he's an American. I believe that he is an illegal citizen and it should be investigated and they should deport his ass. I know that Marco Rubio would love to deport his ass. And I know that Thomas Homan would love to deport Ilhan Omar, and many others will, including my friend Congressman Brandon Gill of Texas, who I met at CPAC. I love that guy. He's Dinesh D'Souza's son-in-law. I love Brandon Gill. It's funny because Tim and I, we have a mutual friend named Brandon Gill, and I got the two confused. So sometimes I'll say Brandon Gill, hey, Congressman Brandon Gill, we got Congressman Brandon Gill here, even though it's not really him because he's in Maryland. But it's just funny. But no, the real Congressman Brandon Gill from Texas, he would love to get rid of Ilhan Omar and all these people, all these freaking Somalis that claim that they're American citizens and they're not. Remember, Ilhan Omar married her brother. Sick woman. Let's bring up the next image. So this, again, breaking news. This was old news, but I bring it up again. Bibi Netanyahu announced on Fox News that preparations to merge the Pentagon and the Israeli military will begin soon. This is very important, guys. That shows that Israel is working with Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, who's a big supporter of Israel. I've heard Pete Hegseth speak at the RNC conventions. I've heard him speak at CPAC. I've heard him speak at all different Jewish events like the IAC and Christians United for Israel, CUFI. I mean, this guy, Pete Hegseth, is total, in my opinion, president and vice president material. You have to have a president or vice president that supports and backs your ally Israel. That's why I have real reservations about Mr. J.D. Vance. The things that he has said about Israel, the fact that he revealed private and confidential conversations to the public shows he cannot be trusted. The fact that he said that Israel put a kibosh on, the deal, and that they're the ones, basically he blamed Israel for the fact that we can't negotiate a deal with Iran. No, that's not true, J.D. Vance. You can't negotiate with terrorists, and the Ayatollah Khomeini are terrorists. The heads of Iran are terrorists. You can't negotiate with them. And President Trump knew it was going to be a challenge. That's why he called their bluff many times. That's why President Trump's attacking the crap out of them and told Israel, go for it, hit it up. Continue killing the Hezbollah up in Lebanon, which is a terrorist organization. And we're going to continue bombing Iran to let the Ayatollah know that we're not effing around. But for J.D. Vance to say that Israel is the problem here, we can't get anything done because of them, screw him. That's why, guess what? Numbers are flipping for Marco Rubio to be at the top of the ticket. I would vote for Marco Rubio over J.D. Vance in a primary. You're damn right I would. And people are like, well, Marco Rubio is part of the Gang of Eight. He's part of the deep state. He's a rhino. No, I'm sorry. He's got the experience. He's got the wherewithal and the knowledge to do a great job. And I wholeheartedly believe that he will continue doing what President Trump is doing. I really do. And also President Trump's son, I've called it on this show. I would love Don Jr. to run for president, Eric Trump, Barron Trump in 2044. I would love it. I think the Trump children are fabulous. And the only people that can really execute Trump's agenda are his kids. And people actually, they used to say in 2016, they loved his children more than him. Hillary Clinton in a debate said, I love, because one guy asked, like, is there anything you like about Donald Trump? And she said, I like his children. He raised some really great children. And Hillary Clinton had a very good relationship with Chelsea Clinton. And look what Jared Kushner is doing. He doesn't have to do what he's doing. He's a special envoy. And he's helping his father-in-law. And there was reports that Jared Kushner trying to undermine his father and work behind the scenes to get Netanyahu out. Bull effing crap. That would never happen. Jared would never go against his father-in-law on that. First of all, his father-in-law would find out. Second of all, I don't think that his marriage would survive to Ivanka if that was the case. You don't undermine the commander-in-chief, especially your father-in-law. When I read that, that was like total BS. Let me tell you something. Jared Kushner works at the pleasure of his father-in-law. He works at the pleasure of the president. Marco Rubio works at the pleasure of the president. J.D. Vance is pleasuring himself right now. He should be enjoying being a new dad and hanging out there. He just got a home in Middlebridge, Virginia. Hang out there for a while. And there's reports of J.D. Vance that he's not even going to run in 2028. I wholeheartedly said on this show, I don't believe that he will be the next president of the United States. I don't believe that they put him as VP to be the next president of the United States. And let me tell you something. He was not Trump's choice. He was Don Jr. and Eric Trump's choice. President Trump did not think of J.D. Vance as his VP. That was not his idea. His children kind of pushed the idea. He's like, oh, okay. But maybe they made a deal. Maybe they said, look, JD, you'll be the VP, but you're not going to be president. You will not succeed me. Hell no. And if he does, this country will be hell. It will go to hell in a handbasket. The anti-Semitism will be on the rise, and J.D. Vance won't do anything about it. He'll sit back and watch it all just right in front of him. He won't care. He won't do anything, in my opinion. But when Marco Rubio, because he was my senator of Florida, when he first talked about Israel, I said to my father, because I watched it, I said, oh my God, Dad, I've never heard a senator speak so eloquently of Israel in my entire life. And when I listened to Pete Hegseth, I've never heard a Secretary of War speak so eloquently about Israel my entire life. And even when Pete was on Fox News, he spoke very eloquently about Israel. You need someone like that in the Oval Office. That's why I trust Marco Rubio more than JD Vance. And it's my opinion. If people on my show they don't believe me or not believe me, they don't like it, well, that's my opinion. But I can tell you something, Marco Rubio is doing much better in the polls than JD Vance. Much better, and he looks better too, by the way. And he's got a gorgeous wife, by the way. Gorgeous wife. Maybe she's okay. But compared to Marco Rubio's wife, woof, it's day and night. You want pretty people in the Oval Office. And Melania Trump, as we know, is gorgeous, and Donald Trump's kids are gorgeous. JD Vance's kids are cute too. But when you look at Marco Rubio's wife, she is a knockout. Beautiful woman, just gorgeous, the way she takes care of herself. I mean, Usha Vance says she just had a baby, but before then, her hair was going gray. She had dark circles underneath her eyes. Like, she did not take care of herself. Like, she just looked old. And she's like younger than JD. Or maybe a little bit older. I don't know. I think she's like 40 or 41 years old. She's like she's 50. She doesn't look good, and she doesn't represent our country very well. And I'm sorry, I don't want to look at that for 4 years. I don't want to look at that as president of the United States or as first lady. I really don't. When I'm spoiled, because when you have a gorgeous first lady and then you go to Usha Vance as the first lady, I'm like, no. But Marco Rubio's wife is the first lady. That's someone I would look at. That's someone I'd be like, okay, I can take that seriously. Let's go to the next slide. So this one's interesting. So Mark Levin actually said this on stage recently. He said, Trump says, or quote, it's true when told he's the first Jewish president. And Mark Levin said that because, when you go back to President Trump's roots of the Trapps, the Von Trapps, there's a lot of German in his genealogy, but they do say there is some Judaism in his genealogy too, but they say he's like a Moses. They say President Trump is like a Moses. He's like an Abraham. He's like a King David. He has led the Jews and the Christians through the promised land. And he has really, really helped out our biggest ally, Israel. And there's Christians that live in Israel too, and they work with the Israelis and they love it. And there's 2 million Arab Israelis that live in Israel with Jews and Christians, and they all get along. So I agree with this. And Mark Levin said he's the first Jewish president. I do. And Trump said, hey, quote, it's true. So think about that, guys, especially during Tisha B'Av. Think about it. Let's go to the next slide. So this is breaking. This is important. So FBI Director Kash Patel announced that 3 million pedophile accounts have been taken down on the Tor network. 3,400 pedophiles have been arrested, and 7,200 children have been rescued. A 99% increase since the Biden administration. Praise God. And as anybody saw the movie Sound of Freedom, which I did, and I cried. I couldn't sleep. I had nightmares for like a week. That stuff is real. I mean, sex trafficking, human trafficking is $1 billion business. It's really big. I think it's like the largest in the United States, which is really sad. Ukraine has a huge sex trafficking business as well. And it starts in Texas. Texas is a huge sex trafficking and child trafficking problem. That's like the hub because you're right over the border. But I'm really proud that Kash Patel is cracking down on this. But again, as I said earlier, he needs to eliminate a lot of people from his department because there's too many Obama, Biden holdovers, too many Bush holdovers that are stopping him from really, really doing the job that he needs to be doing. But arrests need to be made. More investigations need to happen. I want to see arrest. And these are things that the mainstream media doesn't cover, but we, Conservative Network, we will cover it. And now last but not least, my friend David Harris Jr. So this is important. So this is actually a campaign promise that Pete Hegseth said. He said people in the military that lost their pensions, that lost everything, their benefits because they decided not to take the vaccine. As you know, Biden and his stupid military, they mandated everybody to take the vaccine, and they said if you don't take the vaccine, you're out of here, you're fired. So this unvaccinated chief, Warrant Officer S. Kelly, a master aviator, has officially been reinstated to the U.S. military with full back pay, entitlements, station preference, and benefits. He had to be removed due to refusing the COVID jab under Biden. Well, I'm not going to give the finger, but I say this to Joe Biden, and this to the Department of Health under Biden, and this to the Department of, it wasn't the Department of War then, the military department. Screw you guys. Screw you guys for what you did to these men, for mandating them to take something that is so unconstitutional. You're not supposed to mandate people to take a vaccine. It is it's something called, we have something called free will in the Constitution. And now what's going on in the state of West Virginia, of all places, which is supposedly Republican, they have a Republican governor, is the Department of Health. The governor's own Department of Health is overriding his executive order and mandating that all the kids take a vaccine before they go to public school. Young kids, they have to take vaccines. They're mandating it. They said they won't accept religious exemption. They'll barely accept medical exemption. They said you can have medical exemption, but we're not gonna honor it. Isn't that disgusting? This is in the state of West Virginia. I mean, I hope the governor is cracking down on this. My governor Governor Ron DeSantis had to go all the way up to the Third Circuit Court of Appeals because the teachers unions were trying to override his executive order, stating that the kids were not mandated to wear masks anymore, or the teachers. But the Department of Health now, under the governor of West Virginia, who was a Democrat that turned Republican, who's like hardcore MAGA Trump supporter, very conservative, who signed an executive order saying that kids were not mandated to take these vaccines, are now mandating, they're overriding the governor and saying, no, you have to take these vaccines in order to come into school, or you can't come to school. Disgusting. I guess more homeschooling. Sick. I feel bad for anyone in the military that suffered because of this. Because, when you leave the military, what job do you have? You get a job working at McDonald's, you get a job working at Publix. A lot of them don't have college degrees. So they have to start at the bottom. And their wives, unfortunately, have to step it up, or their husbands, unfortunately, have to step it up and get a better paying job so they can pay their bills. But these military people, they rely on their military pensions. And especially if you've served in the military for over 20 years, you are entitled to a pension. If you work in the government for over 20 years, depending on what area in the government, you are entitled to a pension. That's disgusting that Joe Biden did that to these people. But I thank you, Pete Hegseth, for keeping your campaign promise and giving this chief and others full back pay, entitlements, written preferences and benefits, etc. God bless you. That's why Pete Hegseth would be a great leader, either vice president, president, someone in a head position. I said Marco Rubio and Pete Hegseth would be a great ticket. Rubio Hegseth would be a phenomenal ticket. I really do. I really think that'd be a great ticket. Because those two are kicking butt and are really doing for the American people. And as I showed you on Tuesday, these Marco Rubio memes are hilarious on the type of different job he gets every day or every week. It's hilarious. Well, as I said before, we are in campaign mode. We need to put real conservatives in office. As you know, I currently work for Tim Fazenbaker, who is the Republican nominee for Baltimore County Council District 9. Let's put up his QR code. Let's put up the information for his for his event. There we go. Tim Fazenbaker. Go to timfazenbaker.com. Make a donation today. Let's put up his event information. He's having a huge event Thursday, April 6th in Dundalk at Drug City. It's called The Fountain, which is a beautiful room upstairs of Drug City. Those are the pricing. General admission is $55. And we also have people that can sponsor. We have the Ronald Reagan sponsorship, which is $105. We have the bronze sponsorship, which I think is like $2,500. And then we have the big sponsor, which is $6,000, because under law, $6,000 is the maximum that you can give for the whole year. You can't give $6,000, another $6,000. Now you can break it up to add $6,000 altogether. Like we have people that'll donate like $3,000 one month and then $3,000 the next month, and then you have your $6,000. You're capped, but it's capped at $6,000. But please, guys, it's 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Thursday, August 6th, and also tomorrow, Mr. Fazenbaker and I will be in a parade for Edgemere for our veterans, for our firefighters, for our first responders. It is a wonderful parade. They do it every single year after 4th of July. It's called the Edgemere a VFW parade. It's awesome. That's why I have my new nails to represent America, because it's 250 years. And me and Tim will be riding with the other elected officials, which is awesome. It's a great feeling when you're the Republican nominee. And we will be there all night tomorrow. That starts at 6:30. That's about an hour parade. It's going to be awesome. And I'll be taking pictures, and we hope to see everybody there that's in the Maryland Dundalk area. Please come out and support Mr. Fazenbaker. And of course, we have my friend Julie Spivey Perry, who is my guest tonight. She's running for CD10 in Virginia. There we go. She just said that she got $500 from one person, $500 from another. Again, if you've given money to her in the past, double it. If you've given her $100, give her $300. If you've given her $500, give her $1,000 or another $500. I mean, you want to keep doubling it up. This woman deserves your vote, but also she needs your money too. I mean, you can't run for a federal race and have no money in the bank. And I know that she has put some of her money into her campaign as well, but mailers cost a lot of money. Flyers cost a lot of money. To be on the radio, TV costs a lot of money. I mean, all this costs a lot of money. You don't have to have $1 million to run for a congressional race. That's a faux pas, but you need something in the bank. And like I said, I don't even know who her other candidates are. I mean, I really have no clue. But she's been out there. She's been working hard. She's America First. This is a seat that can be flipped. It is a purple district, as she said, so it can be flipped. So please, guys, vote for her in Virginia, CD10. As she was saying before, they're in the process of early voting right now. And the general election, or excuse me, not the general, the primary election is August 4th. So please, guys, vote for her now. This is early voting. Make it too big to rig for her. Get her over the hump. Get her into the winning the primary, and then get her over the hill and let her win the general so she can be there in Congress where she belongs. And of course, we have our friend Justin Murphy. He's running for U.S. Senate. He is the Republican nominee. I can tell you that Justin's been on our network. Justin has been touring all over the state with Damon Galdo, and he's kicking butt. And he's getting Democrat support, independent support. Please, guys, give money to him. He needs it. He's running against Cory Booker, the incumbent, who's got like $2 million in the bank. It's crazy. Again, you don't need $2 million to run for a U.S. Senate race. You don't need it. It's a waste of money. It's stupid. It's very stupid. But Justin needs money too, and Justin needs help. And again, the RNC can't endorse him before the primary. Or excuse me, what am I talking about? He won the primary. So the RNC should be dumping money into him right now. And if they're not, they're no good. The New Jersey GOP should be dumping money into them. Every single club, every single caucus, if you have a central committee in New Jersey, every single person should be dumping money into Justin Murphy. Right now, the RNC should be dumping money into Justin Murphy. They shouldn't say, oh, well, it's New Jersey, he's not going to win. No, this is important, guys. He has an opportunity here to beat an incumbent, and he's a really great guy, and he's super smart, and he deserves to be there, honestly. He really does. He's a Ronald Reagan Republican. He's a constitutionalist, a conservative Republican. We got to put him in office. Enough is enough. And then, of course, we have our good friend Damon Galdo from the Jersey Shore. He's on every Monday night from 8 to 9 p.m. Damon Galdo is a Republican nominee for CD1. Again, RNC should be giving him money. NRCC should be giving money. NRSC should be giving money to Justin Murphy. New Jersey GOP should be giving money to Damon. And Jack Brangan is actually Damon Galdo's campaign manager. So they're campaigning hard. I mean, Damon Galdo is booked every single night up until November. I mean, I barely talk to him or I barely see him, but he's kicking butt. That's what you have to do if you want to win a race. You got to be all over the place. You got to go to every luncheon, every meeting, every event, whatever you can do. But again, you don't need millions of dollars to win a congressional seat. But I believe that he can flip this. I believe that he can win it. And he's working with Justin, but we need your help. So enough is enough. Put up or shut up. Give the guy some money. Give him $500. Give him $1,000. Give him $3,000. Give him as much as you can, or just give him money in increments. Pay in increments. You don't have to plop just $3,000 and that's it. Give him money in increments. But please, guys, these are important races. These are important guys. You want conservatives in office, and this is really important. Also, don't forget Kayla Hamilton. Her mother put a GoFundMe for her. Let's put up that. There we go. Bring Kayla Hamilton justice. As you know, Kayla Hamilton was murdered by an illegal criminal from El Salvador. And she was just a very young girl, and she was brutally murdered and raped. And her mother, Tammy Nobles, has put together this GoFundMe. And she's almost made her goal. Her goal is $50K. We'd like to make it to $100K. We'd like to double it. But we need your help. These are important campaigns, guys. Every single time I put a campaign up, it's important. It's for a good cause. It's for a good thing. It's for good people. And Tammy Nobles is a wonderful mother. But think about it. She lost her daughter. She can never get her daughter back. You as a parent never want to lose your child. It is the most horrific feeling in the world. My bubby lost 2 sons. One at the age of 37, the other one at the age of 16 months. It is like, it just kills a part of your heart. And sometimes you never fully recover. I don't know if my bubby ever fully recovered when she lost her son, Dennis, at 16 months. But it's just, it tells you, it tells you the strength of a woman too. And this woman, Tammy Nobles, has so much strength, but we need to help her out, because what happened to her daughter should never happen to a single human being. It's disgusting what happened to her. It's horrific what happened to her, unheard of. Also, Tammy is having a little birthday party celebration, or a big birthday celebration. It's the 24th Memorial Birthday Celebration for Kayla. That's this Sunday in Virginia Beach at 1 p.m. If you're interested, you can get in contact with me and I'll give you the details. It's going to be a nice big celebration, 1 o'clock p.m. this Sunday. We hope everybody can make it. If not, please make a donation to the GoFundMe that I showed you, and a donation to Tammy Nobles in honor of her daughter. And of course, guys, don't forget that we have the Pulse every Wednesday from 8 to 9:30 p.m. You never know who the host or moderator is going to be. It could be me, it could be Seth, it could be Damon, it could be Elena, it could be Tim Fazemaker. We don't know. But stick around, because you never know who's going to be on it. And we also have the Conservative Corner with Seth once a month on Sunday from 7 to 8:30 p.m. You always have my show every first and third Tuesday of the month, and every Thursday. As I said, I will be traveling to the Maryland area this weekend. And I'll be back, not on Tuesday. I'll be back next Thursday, if all goes well. So yeah, and again, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe us. We need subscribers. We appreciate subscribers. The more you subscribe, the more that our show can be shared and seen. And we want you to constantly keep reposting and keep resharing our show. And if you're interested in being a podcaster, go on americaspulsenetwork.com and fill out the form to podcast. Also, if you are interested in sponsoring my show or the Pulse or the entire network, please go to americaspulsenetwork.com and fill out the sponsorship application. We are currently taking applications on a daily basis, and we'll review the application and we'll get back to you very quickly. And again, guys, we are currently live on Rumble, on TikTok, on Parler, on True Social, Spotify, Substack, Facebook, X, you name it, we're on it. We're on like 15 different connections. Thank you to my guests tonight. Thank you to my viewers. Thank you to the sponsors. And again, guys, the reason you listen and the reason you watch is you are no idiot.
America's Pulse Network. The mainstream media is bought and paid for. The truth is twisted to fit their agenda. But America is waking up, because podcasts are the future for trusted media. Welcome to the America's Pulse Network. It is a network built by patriots that upholds the Constitution. The America's Pulse Network stands for God, truth, and the America First movement. There is no corporate propaganda, no government spin, just real news, real talk, and real voices fighting for faith, freedom, and the future of this great nation with common sense. Here are some of America's Pulse Network podcasts. Alexandra Levine Live, hosted by Alexandra Levine. Jersey Shore Podcast, hosted by Damon Galdo. The Conservative Corner, hosted by Seth Eisenberg. APN's The Pulse, hosted by Alexandra, Damon, Elena, and Seth. So tune into America's Pulse Network on the following social media platforms: X/Twitter, Rumble, Truth Social, Parler, Facebook, and YouTube. Join the revolution, because the pulse of America beats for God and country. America's Pulse Network is for faith, family, freedom, and truth.
Alexandra, thanks you for watching tonight's Alexandra Levine Live podcast. See you at the next packed show, from breaking news to informative topics that will keep you informed. So please click the subscribe button to get notified for upcoming episodes. If you like what the Alexandra talked about, then share the Alexandra Levine Live podcast with others. Alexandra also looks forward to seeing you on the next upcoming episode.